Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. As we get into 1 Kings, perhaps one of the things that we might think is the most valuable thing that David passed on to Solomon was the kingship. And of course, all the privileges that go along with that. We may think, wow, what a wonderful thing that David was able to leave Solomon this kingdom, having had victory over his enemies, having the kingdom flourishing as it was, and to pass on this great kingdom onto his son. But I would say perhaps the most valuable thing, and what is the most valuable thing that David passed on to Solomon, is found in 1 Kings chapter 2 in the first few verses there. There it says, "Then David's time to die drew near, as he commanded Solomon his son, saying, I am going the way of all the earth. So you shall be strong and be a man, and you shall keep the responsibility given by Yahweh your God to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, and his testimonies, according to what is written in the law of Moses, that you may be prosperous in all that you do and wherever you turn, so that Yahweh may establish his promise, which he spoke concerning me, saying, if your sons will keep their way to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, he said, you shall not have a man cut off from the throne of Israel." Here we see the most valuable thing David passed on to Solomon, and that was his faith, but also his obedience to God. David wanted to pass on to Solomon the desire to keep the commandments of the Lord, just as he had kept the commandments of the Lord. We had just read Psalm 119, where David very much expresses his desire for God's law, his love for God's law, his devotion to God's law, and now he's wanting to pass that on to Solomon. And I would say that's the most valuable thing David passed on to his son. And I would also say that's the most valuable thing that we can pass on to our children. Whether or not we have a great inheritance to leave to our children, whether we have a lot of money to leave them or a lot of property or whatever else the case may be, passing on a love for the Lord, a commitment to God, a devotion to Christ, that's the most important thing that we can leave to our children. And if we can but leave that to them, they will have something more valuable than anything that this world could offer. And so we ought to be encouraged to want to encourage our kids and our grandkids and our nieces and nephews or whoever else, whatever kids we might have an influence on, to keep the commandments of the Lord and to fear the Lord, to have faith in God, and to live before him all their days. Again, this is the most valuable thing we can leave to children today. And hopefully it's something that we will be intentional to do, and we will, of course, want to bring that to their lives so that they can grow up in the fear of the Lord, loving him and keeping his commandments. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.